almost every day, the trauma of Black on Black killing is in the newspaper. The stress level in communities and urban centers throughout the United States is at an all-time high. So is the killing. This upcoming meeting is going to explore some possible solutions. One of the questions it's going to ask is violence a part of our DNA? The research behind putting this together is based on both quantitative and qualitative research from experts from around the country. The perspective of where we're coming from is an insider's perspective from the ground up, from someone who actually lives in one of the most violent neighborhoods in the community. We're talking about street violence and solutions. While violence in general is up, we're going to explore in this particular meeting street violence. We name it health, public safety, and community development and relationships. This particular meeting is going to be on Sunday, July the 10th, on Facebook, on Zoom, at 6:30 p.m. Let's talk about the areas that we're going to explore. The first question, or the first component, is health. And looking at health, we're going to explore three different perspectives. The first is what's known as intergenerational trauma. And there's a school of thought that believes that this type of trauma affects our DNA as well as our psyche. That when you look at health issues among African Americans, that's a link. If you look at stress among African Americans, there's a link. We'll talk about that during the meeting. The second part of it is what's known as toxic stress and the impact it has on our kids in school. And then the last component is going to focus on PTSD and how is this rampant and how this is among the different health issues that need to set the conversation, because these issues right here actually impact public safety. Related to public safety, the approach that we are taking here is looking at the models from around the nation on actually what works, from Baltimore, New York, Philly, Tampa, Chicago, California, different types of approaches that are evidence-based, that actually show how violence is being reduced as a part of these programs being in the particular area. So we're looking at all of those different possibilities and begin to adjust what is the best and what can be used as a model that consists of all of these different school of thoughts. And then the last component is dealing with community development, because we cannot really address public safety without having economic development opportunity. This addresses how that economic development or opportunity look like, and what is the different components to move the dial in terms of providing those resources to move to a more healthier and safer community. I think one of the most important strategies about what's coming up is that it's a bottom-up approach that was designed curated, developed, and implemented by the streets. This is the key to the success to addressing street violence. In the upcoming meeting, how does that happen? What type of intervention is necessary? And again, it's based on evidence-based data to show that you can, and it can reduce the level of violence by using different types of strategies. And there's so many different strategies out there. What we attempted to do was to look for what are the most promising ones, and how can we begin to put it to place immediately throughout the country, because violence and the fear of violence is an everyday occurrence. It's as if we live in Beirut or some third world country when it comes to the level of violence. So you have to understand from an inside perspective to someone that's looking inside what it does to a Black community. This meeting is a must attend for psychologists, sociologists, residents, government officials, lenders, funders, regular people, especially if you're from or live in a community where violence is simply, from your perspective, cannot be tolerated, but you're looking for something that can possibly be used to help you in terms of solving this problem. Again, it's based on the evidence, it's data driven. And what it's not emotional driven. That means that we look at what actually does work. So join us on July the 10th at 6:30 p.m. We're gonna be posting this on Facebook, on LinkedIn. If you wanna connect with us, you can connect with us on our webpage at www.michaelrandolph.us. Again, that's www.michaelrandolph.us. Or you can hit me up on my email, which is Center for Nonprofit and Community at gmail.com. So that's my presentation. This is going to be the third meeting that we've given in the last couple of years. And at each meeting, you'll be surprised at the number of people that come to the table with solutions. Because at one point, it's going to be an open forum where we want people who actually live in neighborhoods to give their opinions as to what they think success look like. So it's going to also be interactive as well as informative. So don't forget, Sunday, July the 10th, 2022 at 6:30 p.m.